This is Jonathan Agger, fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Wade Plem. The Wade concept has landed in the UK in Telford ahead of Misfits on Saturday. First of all, what do you make of Telford, Wade?
It's been dark since I got here, so it's hard for me to really know. It's quiet though. It's calm. It's quiet. I had a little something on. I had to take off because you never know what the streets are like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm moving silent. But yeah, just got here. Unfortunately, I got here right after the presser, so I came in. The aftermath was all done. Apparently, Waleed got tossed. There was a cheese slap I heard as well. So I don't know what's happening, but a lot of it's coming down.
Standard Misfits, to be honest.
It's standard Misfits stuff, man. The name of the promotion suits it.
Before we talk about the card, I do want to talk about Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. Yeah. Obviously, you were up for 18 hours. Just tell the fans who didn't watch the stream, a million people. So congrats on that. Just tell us how that went for you.
It was fun, man. Listen. We had the idea to do the 18-hour because it was like, who else is doing something like that? And that's kind of the idea with the channel always. Do something no one else is doing in a different way than people are doing it. But as far as the fight itself, man, I thought Jake showed himself pretty well. Just skill level, experience level, which is not there yet. The only thing that surprised me about Tommy was his ability to take punches, because he took some punches. And maybe the ability for him to be present in the moment. I think that was a big deal for Tommy, where I thought maybe those jitters, and especially the crowd, and combine that with the gas tank that I didn't know was maybe a little suspect, and the adrenaline and the butterflies, and maybe late in the fight that could have gone a different way, but nah, Tommy held his own, and not only did that, but showed Jake a boxing lesson.
So how did you score it in the end?
I think I had it like a generous 6-2 to Tommy. Like, Tommy pretty much dominated every round. As far as like the statistics of it, like, you can look at CompuBox and say, oh man, Tommy should have won every round. But it doesn't always tell the story of a round, right? But as far as the X's and O's go, punch and don't get punched, Tommy won every round outside of maybe round 3 and 8.
Now, obviously, since the fight, Jake Paul said he was ill, jet-lagged, things like that. What do you make of those, what people are calling excuses?
I said this in my video. If you're Jake, you can't say that. You just can't, right? Like, I mean, you can do whatever the hell he wants, but for the public perception of things, have your team say that. Have BJ Flores, which I think he came out and said, hey, this guy had COVID, we were traveling out, whatever it is. Have Jay Leon Love say that, but Jake can't be the one that says it, because now it looks like sour grapes. Now it looks like you can't take a loss. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how, you're a sore loser, and you can't just accept that you got beat, which isn't what I think Jake was trying to go with that. I think he understands he got beat, but I don't like the excuses.
Is that just a ploy for the rematch talk?
I mean, listen, that could be. I don't know if that's going to get more people excited about it. I think people are already, if they're going to be excited, they're already going to be. I don't know, people are like, oh, well, Jake had COVID, so they got to run it back. Like, no, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's more so, could Jake, now seeing a pro boxer, elevate himself to that level? That's the question. And I don't know if in short term, I don't know if they do that, because I'll ask you, in 5 months, does that change,
Does he need a fight in between against maybe like an older fighter who's got experience and stuff?
I don't know about. See, we do the older thing, and then all of a sudden we run right back into the same problems, right? So it does. In my opinion, he does need a fight in between. It's got to be a younger guy that's going to be able to go stamina like rounds with him and push him, and it does need to be someone that has volume and is active. And a lot of the boxes that check off there, not to say it's anywhere near the same thing, because it's not, but KSI does check a lot of those boxes. It makes sense for them to do that fight in the summer.
Now, we've seen since about this bet and John Fury demanding that Jake pays up. Since that, I don't know if you've seen a video from Jake Paul where he was in the dressing room before the fight, and they were trying to basically ask John to sign the contract or whatever it was. So what's your assessment of this situation?
I think the Furies are playing a great game with Jake, right? They are like, we're a fighting family, no contract is like a handshake. Like, okay, buddy. The Fury handshake means dick all of shit, excuse my language, but it doesn't mean anything. It never has. Like, I know they put a lot of pride in it. It only means something when things go their way. That's when it means something. How many times have they had a handshake deal on a Joshua fight and it didn't happen? How many times they handshake deal on Tyson Fury fighting a ton of guys that didn't happen? So I think it's more so just a lot of public perception and PR for them, and say, hey, listen, we agreed on it, and a contract is just as good as a handshake, which doesn't hold up in court anywhere. So I don't think it's much to do with anything. I think it's both guys are going to go their separate ways, and if they wanted it, they should have signed it.
And then Eddie Hearn said that he feels that Jake can improve, but he's can't box at any level, basically professionally. Do you agree?
I mean, Eddie's kind of been. It's tough because Eddie's been back and forth, right? He's been wishy-washy with what he kind of says, but he has stayed pretty steadfast on the fact that Jake's not a professional boxer. And as of right now, he's right. He's right. Right now, Jake is. People are like, "Oh, he's a celebrity boxer." I look at Jake as an athlete that is boxing. That's the way I look at it. Jake is an athlete that is boxing. He knows how to fight. He doesn't necessarily have the experience, time, and fundamental build-up to box. So, yeah, I would agree with him that right now, and even in the future, outside of novice pro level, I don't know how much further Jake goes up.
And one thing that you've always said is that these guys focus on not just the boxing side of it, also sort of the show business aspect. So how does professional boxers improve on this? Obviously you have a cameraman and stuff and things like that. So do they need cameramen? And
you got to reinvest into that side. By the way, Christian, get here safe, brother. Jesus Christ, you guys saw that? Damn near had a snakes on a plane incident or something, man. You just got to reinvest in what's important. Like Jake and Tommy built the fight basically. Yeah, you had a 2-year build kind of, but as far as the actual promotion, they did $500K, or at least that's the number floating around, off a month and a half of promotion. Like they got people invested. Boxing is not getting people invested right now. There's no one. You have to care about the people in the ring. You have to, right? There's some guys that are exceptions to the rule, like a Usyk, right, or somebody like that, but you do have to find a way to get these guys to be more interesting to the general public, whether it's their record and their personality, whether it's their backstory, hardships they came from, something that you can highlight. So yes, take notes from Jake Paul. He is one of, if not the best promoter in the game.
Is it also on the promoters to, change up maybe the press conferences or do something?
I think it is. I think there's the old guard of boxing that's very much prim and proper, where we all get up to the podium and we have our written out spiel, and it's like we're addressing the public after being arrested or something. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's like you're reading your last rites, like you're reading your will to your family. Like let's have some personality. Let's let the guys talk a little bit. Yes, I understand you don't want to have expletives thrown around on every part of your TV, but yeah, let's have it more interactive. Let's have it in probably a more shortened version where not everyone has to run in here and sit down and wait one at a time. We can go back and forth. We can have the guys interact. And I think that's what Misfits does well. We have outside of apparently Waleed getting thrown off a table today, WWE style, but we do have the guys able to go back and forth, and there is some intrigue built from that. Like I guarantee you, people are more interested, should they get past their fight Saturday, to watch Waleed and Dean after the promotion they've done inadvertently, just because they don't like each other. You know what I mean? So.
And then it was announced April 22nd, I believe, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. Woo! What happens in that fight, Wade?
Tank. Knockout.
Simple as that.
6th round.
And is that the sort of fight that will generate the interest amongst casuals?
Yeah, that one's one. See, again, Ryan Garcia does a really good job of this too. Ryan Garcia has been calling for Tank for years now. Tank has basically kind of big boyed him, say, you're not on my level, like we haven't done this, you're not there yet, you got rocked by Luke Campbell, you don't want this left hand. And they've gone back and forth, and now we're at the point where finally we're getting a fight we want in the boxing world with two young guys that aren't old and past their prime, and 10 years later we're going, I wish we had it when they were 22 or 23. We get that. So I'm excited for it. I just think Tank has too much, too often, too fast. People don't give him the credit he can box, and Ryan's too flat-footed.
And just finally, obviously you're on the DAZN broadcast on Saturday, but there's rumours you may enter the ring one day. Is that going to become a possibility?
Yeah, I think sometime down the road. It's an ongoing battle with the freaking health and the whole thing, but once that's done, we'll talk.
And final question, a bit random, but I was with Fred in Saudi last week, and I want to know from you, if he steps in the ring, who should he fight?
Oh man, Fred can fight a lot of guys, man. It seems like they want to set up him and Fox the G, the young kid over in Misfits as well. So that one seems like they're building toward it. I would like to see it, Fred versus Fox. Let's do it, man. Let's go.
maybe on Misfits 6 or 7. But
there you go.
Wade, appreciate it, and enjoy Telford.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.